And we're back. This is Inez Kelley, and you are listening to Saturday Morning here on WOL. And again, remember, if you want to tune in online, we are online at www.woldcnews.com. That's www.woldcnews.com. A lot of W's in there, kind of throws you off. Say that 5 times. Okay, and we are here with Miss Ruth Wright of Wright, the Wright Realtor. I like that, the Wright Realtor. And Ms. Wright is just explaining to us about the, the housing market, a little bit of the housing market. Well, I guess we really hadn't talked about that as far as the housing market. We kind of touched on it a little bit as far as just the difference in the crash. Well, we all know what happened with the crash, the 2007, 2008. And so right now you would say that it's coming back. I guess it would have to. If it was still in the same state, we'd all be in trouble. But for the most part, what are you seeing? What are you seeing the trend right now?
Well, the housing market is very localized. For example, in the District of Columbia, the average sales price, just to give you an example, is roughly around $600,000. In Virginia, basically, the average sales price is around $600,000. In Prince George's County, the average sales price is around $235,000.
So are you saying then that for your average house, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, you see, I guess because I've been in D.C., I've lived in D.C., and I moved to Virginia Beach, and it's a whole different market. So when you say $600,000, I'm thinking like the mansion on the hill kind of thing. Not because I'm not knowledgeable to that, but just after spending the time in Virginia Beach, and the average house there was probably about $200,000, if that much. And I'm talking about a nice house with lots of land. So not everybody goes scurrying off to Virginia Beach right now. But, so $600,000. But I guess it's the old adage, location, location, location.
Location, location, location. And these statistics come from the real estate website that we use, and I pulled them yesterday. Mm-hmm. And this is the average sold prices. Not the average sales price, but the average sold price, which basically they are really comparable. So, it's like I said, it's very localized, and the market is creeping up in all areas. It's really creeping up in some areas, and in some areas it's not creeping up as fast, but it is creeping up in all areas.
So would you say it's more of a buyer's market or a seller? Who has the advantage at this
I think
stage?
that it's more of a seller's market if you're in the price range of $300,000 and below. If you're in the price of, and yet again, it depends on what county you're talking about. Are we talking about D.C.? Are we talking about Maryland? It depends on what county you're talking about.
Okay.
It is a buyer's market, I think, in Prince George's County, to give you an example. When you get into the 400 plus, I think it becomes a buyer's market. So it varies from county to county.
And then also the price range.
Right.
Price range.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, just before we went to break, we were talking about some of the programs that are available. Now, Ms. Wright is going to give us some, but I also suggest that you Google that as far as housing assistance, if you're interested, and I'm sure there's quite a bit out there, but some of the more prominent ones that you work with would be who that you would suggest in terms of the housing assistance in helping one to get in the house. And also be mindful that I believe even since this crash here that now you do have to come to the table with some of your own money. It's not just, because I can remember back a little bit where some of these programs pretty much took care of your down payment. So what programs would you suggest?
Well, first of all, a lot of people don't know this, but if you go to and Google programs in Maryland, for instance, There are over 80 programs in Maryland that, in different counties, Prince George's County, Baltimore County, Annapolis, Anne Arundel, all different counties, and they have certain programs, and all of these programs have specifics with the program. So I'm going to just highlight a couple, but you really need to go to the website for the county, if it's in Prince George's County, the county website, or Montgomery County, to really see what programs fit you the best. In Prince George's County, a popular program right now is the My Home 1 and 2 program. Okay. The Buy Suitland program, where they may give you, depending on your income, at one time up to $40,000 to purchase a home in Suitland, Maryland. Wow. In Prince George's County and in the state of Maryland, you have the first time tax credit buyer program, where if you're a first-time home buyer in the state of Maryland, part of your taxes are waived, so that will decrease the total amount of money that you need to bring to settlement.
Okay. Now, are all of these programs first-time home buyers?
All of them are not. You don't necessarily have to be a first-time. Well, let me put it like this: you're considered a first-time home buyer if you have not owned a home in the past 3 years. Okay. So a lot of people fall into that category. If you have not owned a home in the past 3 years, you are considered a first-time home buyer. Okay. Okay. They have programs for teachers and policemen, the good neighbor next door. You can buy a HUD foreclosure, which your out-of-pocket cash basically will be a little lower. They have a workforce housing program in Maryland. They have all kinds of programs that you can do some research on and get ready to look at. In the district, for example, a popular program is the Open Door program. And under that program, the income levels are real flexible. So one may think if they made over $100,000, they wouldn't qualify. Actually, they would. So they need to go to the Open Door program. NACA is a good program, and NACA is used in D.C. and Maryland. And also, D.C. has a tax credit program. And under that program, you can get if you're in a certain income bracket, you can get your taxes waived for the first 5 years. When your taxes are waived for the first 5 years, that actually reduces your monthly payment, because your monthly payment includes 1/12 of the taxes for the year. Right. So that's an excellent program that a lot of people are taking advantage of. Okay,
so when you say waived for the next 5 years, I mean, you're not going to get a big payment at,
no,
the 6th year that you have to pay. Are those is that eradicated, or does that come back to you at some point?
No, it's completely waived. The years 6 through say 30. Say you have a 30-year loan. Years 6 through 30, you will start paying taxes, but for the first 5 years, your taxes are waived.
Okay. So my next question is, does it matter the cost of the home? Like if you're buying I guess $600,000 is your average home, but if it's like $1 million, does that put you out the program? Does it?
It matters. It's based on your income. Okay. It's not based on the house, but the house is based on your income, but the program is income specific.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of programs out there to help us get back into a home. And, if you don't have all of the down payment, because what is the down payment now? What is it, 10%?
Well, 20%? if you are buying a home under the FHA, then your down payment is 3.5% of the sales price. Okay. But a lot of people, if you already have an FHA loan and you're only entitled to have one, then you would have to buy under conventional. Conventional is credit specific. So the better your credit, the lower your interest rate is, but your down payment is going to range anywhere between 5% to 20%. Okay. So it's really an incentive if you can buy a house on the FHA and get a low down payment. Now that's not the only money that you need to buy a house. You have your down payment, and you have to pay your closing costs. So
Now, with your closing costs, is that not negotiable between the seller and the buyer? And I know sometimes the seller is buying a portion of, or paying for a portion of the closing cost. Is that still allowable?
everything is negotiable, but this is the situation. If you have multiple contracts on a house, say a house is on the market in Prince George's County, let's use Prince George's County, for $250,000. And they receive multiple contracts. If you put in your contract that you want the seller to pay 3% or 6% of the closing, and the other contract does not ask for that, guess whose contract is going to be accepted?
But if you come with your loan already approved and all of that good stuff, then as a seller, I'm going with the guy that's approved. even
All
if he's asking for
real
3%.
estate agents don't take people out unless their loans are approved. It's a
Okay.
different day. So years ago when I first started, we would put you in our car and take you out and then get your loan approved. That's
Right.
not the way it happens today.
I remember those.
You
days.
remember those
Mhm,
days?
I remember those
Today,
days.
before you get in a realtor's car, for the most part, your loan is going to be approved. So everybody's loan is approved. So we're all, working on the same level here. We're all going in with approved loans. Now, the person that asks for the lease when you're dealing with multiple contracts, that's the contract that's
That
going to
you're
get
gonna take.
accepted.
Right.